thing and just tried to build a consensus. She had the senator from Michigan, Debbie Stabenow, on that side doing the heavy lifting. And ultimately, by the time it was done, she had 55 co-sponsors in the House, got the White House behind it. Again, very, very impressive, and I guess that's the way the textbook says it's supposed to work.
Well, and she's a perfect person to handle it because she's in Congress in a state that's dependent on the automobile manufacturing.
50,000 jobs
who better than Betty Sutton, who's going to be in a targeted race. So I think she's a perfect person to handle it.
Could not be better. You're right. We lose maybe one for sure, maybe two members of Congress in just 2 years. High-profile success. Very well thought of in the leadership in the Congress.
Okay.
This might be her ticket to rise to re-election.
This boosts her stock. All right. Akron Mayor Don Pasquale, police union leaders trading new barbs and insults. The mayor jumping in the middle of an ugly brawl. Was he helping or interfering with police? A big crowd, an early morning brawl outside a downtown bar, spills in the street. Now the mayor's on the scene using a little rough language, frustrated by dead-end 911 calls, and he claims indifference and disrespect by some officers who arrived on the scene and apparently did not want his help finding witnesses to try and figure out who did what to whom here.
I called 4 times and got it recorded. There's a guy probably dying right here in front of me. One of the cops turns to me and says, just get out of the way, just get back, keep your mouth shut, which I whispered under my breath, don't you ever talk to me like that again.
They could have easily put him in handcuffs, for being belligerent, cussing at people, cussing at the officers.
They made an arrest based on the description of the people that I helped keep there. And they turned this on me like I did some terrible thing.
I'm not going to tolerate the mayor belittling my members.
Well, the police union boss claims officers did not charge Pasquale because they feared that that could mean payback and even more layoffs. And that's part of the story here. There are some police and safety force layoffs coming in Akron.
Yeah, and another part of the story is that this same union leader endorsed Pasquale's recall just a few weeks ago. So there's bad political blood here. I don't know. I listened to the tapes. I didn't hear any slurring words. There is a typical 1 or 2 off-color Pasquale word, but anybody who's ever talked to him knows that he is.
It was pretty tame.
It was very tame, focused. I think he did what every good citizen should do when they see a crime being committed. That is, he raised his hand, stepped up, and called the police.
Well, he's the safety director, too. He has a legitimate reason to get involved.
So this comes on a backdrop of an earlier problem that they did have in Akron when they were criticized for not, responding, and there were injuries.
There was an ugly incident, and they mishandled reports, and the police department got a black eye.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and I think our poll shows people supporting the mayor 2-1. So, well, he's off in Japan for a while, so maybe things will quiet down just a little bit now. For the first time, both sides of the Cuyahoga County reform debate. And do it now or just go slow, making their case to the same audience. Cleveland City Council, a tough crowd. Reform backers Bill Mason and Judy Rawson, and let's study it some more. Booster Peter Lawson-Jones and AFL-CIO Chief Harriet Applegate, taking some hardball questions about race. Republicans, would swapping commissioners for a high-priced executive and an 11-member council really make a difference? And hey, isn't most of the public push for this driven by the corruption probe? Would reform be an instant improvement or a stampeded quick switch like term limits that turned out badly?
This is about allowing an accountable leadership team to address jobs, equity, and better regional thinking.
When there is a crisis, you don't just take any lifeboat, you take the lifeboat that's the sounder.
We need to think boldly and differently.
The county executive council form of government tends to be more expensive and more susceptible to corruption.
Well, corruption probe stories will create a throw them out and start over support for reform among some people, but many office holders. Mayor Jackson, Congressman Kucinich, suburban mayors against this, so a plan to create new unity may just wind up rekindling some old hard feelings and divisions here. Well, again, the public has really got to pay attention and sort all of this out, because there is lots of confusion.
Well, I think the county commissioners did that on purpose to make it difficult for people to, just have one clean, reform package on there. They put a second one on there.
So the strongest argument for reform now is what?
Well, the fact that the plain dealer needs to keep selling newspapers, they're on an agenda.
Oh.
Well, they're on an agenda to get a Pulitzer Prize. There's no doubt that there is egregious misconduct in political office. Now, does that disease warrant an amputation of the voters' rights to choose elected office holders, or around districts that were not